Welcome to Uccello's for today's media luncheon. Our players, quarterback Heath Parling, defensive tackle Isiah Dunning, and head coach Matt Mitchell. Just some notes of information. This will be the 4th ranked team that we'll have played this year in our first 7 games, as Michigan Tech is now a top 25 team. So, Coach, if you can talk about the Wayne State victory, and we'll move on to Michigan Tech.
Sure. Obviously excited to get the win at home on homecoming. Had a great crowd atmosphere. A lot of alumni back, specifically football alumni were back. So excited, to get another win and get our 3rd one in a row. Defensive battle out there. And you talk about our defense. I thought our assistant coaches put together a great game plan, and we had our defensive kids executed, and they executed with a lot of passion, a lot of energy. Very physical game on both sides of the ball, but our defense was really doing a great job stopping the run and pressuring the quarterback. Obviously, when you look at the big plays of the game, we forced 2 fumbles when Wayne State was down in our territory, which led to no points, and that was really big. And we're doing a good job this year of creating turnovers, both forcing fumbles and intercepting passes. And with some of the injuries we had at the corner position. Devin McKissick, who I thought had a chance to potentially, be a big contributor. We lost him for the season in preseason camp, and then Devontae Jones went out in the Hillsdale game. We played with 2 corners the whole game, and I thought Dante Carey and Trey Walton really stuck to the plan, and were really 1/11th of the defense, respectively. And our front continued to play to the level of their potential, and we got better play out of some of our linebackers. I think Joe Moran and David Talley are continuing to progress within the scheme of our defense. So hold that team to 3 points when they've been averaging 30-plus points per game, and I think we're like fifth in our league of rushing. To hold them to 20-some yards rushing, I think, is a credit again to our players and our assistant coaches for the week of the preparation. Offensively, they brought a lot of pressure in the first half. We were able to mix things up and scored the 2 touchdowns, which was obviously gave us the 2-score lead heading into halftime. The second half, on our first possession, we get the thing down in Wayne State territory, and then we just didn't do a very good job protecting Heath, and took a couple sacks and got off balance. And really the rest of the third quarter, we're kind of fighting from an offensive perspective, fighting field position. We really backed up and just had a hard time getting out of there and converting a little bit. I did think, though, as in the end of the third and obviously the beginning of the fourth, we were able to pick up some key 3rd downs and swing the field. And between our offense and our punt team, we put the ball back down in Wayne State territory and made them really have to force them to drive the length of the field. So from an offensive perspective, we've got to continue to attempt to try to find ways to run the ball. They brought a lot of pressure. We've got to be a little more effective that way. But we were 8 of 16 on 3rd down, and that was pretty critical for the game. I thought when he was protected, Heath did a really good job of stepping into some throws and had some guys, step up and make some plays, in the back end. So, it was the type of game when Kirk Spencer went down that, we basically had one tailback, and we had a 2-score lead against ODU. We didn't close the game out offensively or defensively, and I think that's the progress that we'd made since that game. We were able to close it out. So maybe you look at the thing from a 17 points perspective, and you're not super excited about the offense, but at the same time in the second half, our offense controlled the ball for 21 of 30 minutes, and we helped our defense with field position and helped our defense close out the game. So I'm not as disappointed with those guys and what they helped us do. They didn't turn the ball over. They stuck to the plan, and we were able to grind out the win at home. So more of a major concern for me is our special teams. Our 2 coverage units on Saturday killed our defense. Our punt team came through and made some plays towards the end of the game, but our kickoff coverage team is killing our defense. And our return unit, we've got to set up our offense, and we had a couple opportunities to kick off returns. We had stupid penalties and not advancing the ball past the 25, and just really digging our offense a hole with some of the return game things. We just really haven't popped one in the return, kick return or punt return. We really haven't popped one. So we're going to put a lot more effort and focus on special teams end of things, because those have got to be key components of both our offense and defense, and we're not where we need to be with those. So as I said, proud of our assistant coaches and our players. Came out, had a great pregame warm-up, and really felt the energy and excitement of the crowd, and found a way to win against a good Wayne State team. So obviously moving on to Michigan Tech, they're undefeated. I assume they'll probably be ranked in the top 20. I know they're going to be ranked in the top 25, but they'll probably be ranked in the top 20 when the polls come out today. They've got a very stingy defense. They're number 1 in the GLIAC in terms of yards rushing allowed per game. And on offense, they've got a quarterback that's, when he's on, he's on. He's an excellent passer and controls, really in control of their offense. Tyler Scarlett's been a guy that we've had to face here for 4 years in a row, and just has a lot of credibility with our coaching staff in terms of how he manages the game and how he plays, and is a very efficient passer. I think we've seen on tape up to this point, Charlie Leffenwell is running extremely hard, and they've done a good job of mixing in and being balanced offensively, both running the ball and throwing the ball, and they don't do a lot of, they don't turn the ball over much. They threw a couple picks against Northwood, but other than that, not really throwing interceptions. They're not turning the ball over. They're playing really a team game, and so this will be it's a big game obviously for both clubs. Big game for them to try to keep themselves undefeated in the GLIAC with some games coming up, and a big game for us to try to see if we can take the next step forward. Obviously we're won our last 3 games and got to make improvements and just keep plugging away. And it'll be a tough test on the road at their place. They always play extremely well, and they've got a really senior-laden team. I'm sure is very hungry, to keep their win streak rolling.
Matt, can you provide a little bit of update on Kurt Spencer and talk a little bit about the running game? You were able to hold on to the ball, but the rushing average wasn't very good this last game. Yeah,
specifically with Kirk, he's got a X-ray today. I haven't quite heard back where we're at with that. It's more of a foot injury, so I don't really know his status for the Tech game right now. I'll find out more probably this afternoon or tomorrow. In terms of our running game in general, as I mentioned, we talked about this a week ago that that Wayne State had a lot of athletes up front. Their linebackers are good. I mean, they have a really solid linebacking core, and they brought a tremendous amount of pressure. And we probably struggle at times. We hadn't seen that type of athleticism or pressure in a few weeks, and so we struggled with some of our guys up front, just picking up some of the pressures and doing what we needed to do. And then, we came into the season with 3 tailbacks, and you look there at the end of the third quarter, and the fourth quarter we basically had 1. And, I thought Chris played extremely well and was really running hard. And so that's probably, if Kirk is out, we've got to identify what are we going to do from a personnel standpoint moving forward to be able to run the ball. And so, we knew going in, it wasn't like we were completely surprised. We knew going in that they had a lot of athletes, Wayne State did, and they were a very pressure-oriented team. They got 20-some sacks. I think they're leading the GLIAC in terms of sacks and tackles for losses, and that was going to be, a challenge for us. But I thought we did enough in the second half, to be able to move the sticks. And when you possess the ball for 21 of 30 minutes, even though, again, from a score standpoint, it was good, those guys did enough on offense to help take some pressure off our defense in that game.
Matt, to follow up on that a little bit, if Spencer's out, who does kick returning, and what are some of the ways that you might improve on your kickoff?
Yeah, well, I tell you that's a big topic of discussion in the morning in the building. Who would be our kick returner? We've got a few options, and we'll figure it out this week. I think the list of names would include Camille Jackson's been back there doing some of that. Obviously, Potts has been back there, but hasn't gotten as many of the opportunities that Kirk has gotten. We might take a look at potentially some guys on defense too. Maybe Deontay Hurst could be an option too that could move over there and do some of that. So I think probably, our kick return issue on Saturday had less to do who it was back there returning the ball as it was we either had schematic breakdowns with our guys in terms of responsibilities, or from a technical standpoint weren't doing a very good job. Our kickoff coverage unit, we had a little bit of an issue on the second one, the third one. After he ripped the second one, we tried to squib it. We're trying to squib it and keep it on the ground and keep away from Val Showers, and it hit a frontline guy. It was kind of a fluky deal. And so, I think that when you talk about kickoff coverage team, it probably has less to do with scheme and more to do with who you have out there and their attitude towards it. And we've got some guys on defense that are playing hard. They're playing physical. That's got to start translating to our kickoff team a little bit better than it has. And so it's a combination of factors. Our guy that's kicking the ball off has got to do a better job. He wasn't as effective with some of his squib kicks and directional kicks as we need him to be. And then some of the guys running down, we've got to take a look at our personnel and the way that they're being coached and the way that they're doing things, because It's just setting up offense with too good a field position. And 2 home games ago, we give up the one for a touchdown, and it's been probably, when you look at our defense, it's been the worst part of our defense has been our kickoff coverage unit. So I'm sure everybody in that building, especially after the meeting yesterday, will have a vested interest on how that goes during practice this week and getting better in that area of it.
And Isiah, just as far as the defensive line goes, you guys have been making plays for pretty much all season, but especially the last couple of games, been pretty impressive. Have we seen the best from the D-line yet this season?
I don't think you have. I think we have been playing good, but there's still some little things that we can fix from a technique standpoint, and we can be a lot better.
And Heath, just as far as the run game goes, how do you guys really put it together up at Michigan Tech this weekend?
I mean, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to get any easier throughout the course of our schedule. So I guess that's just got to be something we focus on in practice, and we always do. It's not like we haven't been, but we just have to find a way to be more consistent. And, you know, I have confidence that we will with the guys up front and our guys in the backfield. So I think hopefully you'll start to see that improvement come Saturday.
Isiah, could you talk a little bit about Tyler Scarlett and what you recall from him from the past and what makes him such a tough quarterback?
He's a smart guy. He's a good leader. Playing him the last 3 years, he gets his offense going, and he's a very accurate passer, and he doesn't make many mistakes. So we're gonna have to be on point at all 3 levels of our defense, and trying to slow him down.
Okay, thank you very much.